2023, Paper 2, Question 9. We have a pyramid with a small pyramid removed, and we want to calculate the volume of this shape. We're given the information about the dimensions, and if you want to pause the video and have an attempt at it yourself, you're welcome to do so. But otherwise, I'm going to go through the question. So we want to first of all find the volume of the large pyramid. So the large pyramid volume we're going to refer to this as V1, so we can call it V1 for the rest of the question instead of having to write large pyramid again. It's a common tactic is to name a variable like V1. You just write V1 if you're going to refer back to this. And the formula which you're given on the sheet is 1/3 times capital A times H. We're going to make this A1 and H1 because there's a lot of dimensions. So we then have to find the volume of the small pyramid. So we then are going to use A2 and H2 later on. So we're going to call these A1 and H1 to avoid any confusion. All will make sense later. So the large pyramid has a square base of length 90 centimeters, and we need to find A is the area of the base, which equals, well, it's a square base of length 90, so that's going to be 90 squared. And the height of the large pyramid, well, the large pyramid is the total height of this combined. That's 60, and we have 48, so adding them is 108. So we can then find the volume, and you want to plug this into the calculator, and that's 291,600. It's in centimeters, so it's centimeters cubed. Then we find the volume of the small pyramid. Volume V2, V and a small 2. Then we write 1/3 A2 and H2, so we don't get the A's and the H's mixed up. We then write A2, H2, and we're told that's got a square base of length 40, so let's find the area of the base. Well, that's 40 squared, and the height of the small one alone is 48. And if you plug this one into the calculator, you get 40 squared times 48 divided by 3. That one is 25,600 centimeters cubed. We have the large volume and the small pyramid volume. To get the volume of the block, we have to take the small volume away from the large volume. So we say the block volume block volume, and this is where it becomes so much easier now that we've labelled V1 and V2. V1 minus V2. 291,600. Take away 25,600. You could do this without a calculator, but you have a calculator, so you don't want to lose silly marks by thinking you can do something in your head and you can't. And that's 266,000. Centimeters cubed. No guidance on rounding, so I think this is okay. I would say so. We'll leave it as that. So let's have a look at how the SQA would mark this one. You would get 1 mark for this, but you don't have to get 25,600 in order to get the first mark. You just have to get this. Second mark is for this, but interestingly again, you don't need to evaluate this. The third mark is for knowing to take V2 away from V1 and getting the final answer is the last mark. And there's quite a lot of ways which people got this one wrong. So if you showed no working, you would get no marks. That's the case with most questions. Then there's a lot of commonly observed responses. A lot of these involve pi, so I can imagine that they've used the wrong formula. So they've used one of the other ones. If we take a look, 1/3 pi r squared height is the volume of a cone. Many pupils use that or the sphere. Yeah, the most common one was that pupils used the volume of a cone instead of that of the pyramid. But what's interesting about that is, if you have a look, this is a side note. It's not relevant to the question as such. The A, now a cone, the base is a circle, and that has area pi r squared. So if you change the A for pi r squared, it's the same thing. But many people substituted 90 for r in this one, but you can't use this because you don't have a cone. And many pupils added, which makes no sense, but yeah, many pupils didn't understand the method you had to use was to take the small one away from the big one. So that caused issues. Other issues included forgetting to square 90 and 40. We're given 90 for the length of the base, but you had to square to find the area. Many people forgot to do that. And that concludes most of the problems that happened then. So I hope you found this video useful, and best of luck with the studying. If you have any issues, leave a comment in the comment section. Thank you for watching.